Ladies and gentlemen, with 51 hours left to save THORnews and keep me on as your planetary defense commander for October 2019, we're going to look at all the models. Now remember, these are just computer-generated models taking guesses at what might happen. But having gone through them already, we are looking at potential impacts for South Texas, Mexico, Florida, and New Jersey, New England, New York, Nova Scotia, New Hampshire. Okay, so we're going to look at the trends. Right now we're looking at the icon. And the icon, one of the things to note here is the low pressure system that sits in the Gulf of Mexico for a while and gravitates towards Mexico. That is one interesting thing to note. Another interesting thing to note is it looks like a low pressure system backs up around the Azores High and then pushes into the New Jersey, New York, New England, New Hampshire area. Now we are looking for trends and patterns here. And then you've got another hurricane getting kicked off the Azores High towards the United States of America. This is just the icon, and it's one thing to consider. Now about Lorenzo takes a northward turn and then does what all the weird models are showing, a straight east hit on Ireland as pretty much a Category 2 hurricane. I mean, it's on initial landfall would be 973, but then it just weirdly dissipates. Something to note. But also worth noting is the giant rain band after, and then the next one that comes, so that would be about 3 to 4 storms in a series of 2 weeks. Now we're looking at the NAB Jim, which takes us out to the 10th. It also shows some type of a low geared towards Mexico and South Texas. We have our New Jersey, New York, New England, New Hampshire, Nova Scotia storm farther out to the east, and the possible hurricane off the Azores High farther out to the east. Now, let's watch. So we can see a major storm. This storm looks like the one coming off, although it would be more of a nor'easter type, although I don't know if there would be snow, but that would be one that just comes out traditionally west to east over New York, New England. And then we can see the low kind of bubbling up, forming. You get another low here, which would be our very interesting to watch low. And that, although keeps it east as it connects, and then we get our hurricane and out to sea option for the United States, possible long-term effects on England. That is the NAB Jim. All right, we're looking at the infamous GFS 12Z run, the last on the board. And we start out with the big storm that moves over the northeast. And always check out Cranky Weather Guy blog because he always keeps a sharp eye out for where he lives. And he looks out for everybody, but he definitely watches the northeast like a hawk. Then you get, we'll do a full run, like here you go. And then that is the one that ends in the super major mega storm of the middle of October that I've technically been talking about for 5 months. And so you get that one storm, the secondary big storm of the first week, because I've said it's going to go in 2 waves. You have a storm kind of like the 1st to the 10th, and then that's phase 1, and then you got the 10th to the 20th, which will be phase 2, and then we'll worry about phase 3 when we get closer to that, because it is now October 2nd. So that has that weird storm missing the northeast, but then it kind of combines with that hurricane to form one weird-ass storm that goes up and hits Nova Scotia. And on this run, it takes Lorenzo. It does the same thing where Lorenzo goes north and then pivots at 956 millibar, making it a Category 3 hurricane. So it is at a latitude of Europe at a Category 3 hurricane, which is extremely anomalous, and then has a Category 2 hurricane behind it, or subtropical, post-Greenland, whatever the heck you want to call it. Call it what you will, baby. All right, and then that has, of course, this one also has Europe getting hit by multiple storms. This has like 5 or 4 in 2 weeks, and then ends in the major boom. Although I predict it would go a little bit norther, and then if that happens, it would then, as a major hurricane, travel up, scrape, and go as it connects with the Quetzalcoatl front and the Quetzalcoatl storm. So the GFS has kind of a doomy option for Europe and the UK and Ireland. Nova Scotia getting hit major, and then Florida getting hit major. So definitely looking, and then another hurricane rolling off of Mexico, and if it sticks with patterns, the moisture would end up in the Midwest to cause a nasty hurricane. And if you do want to keep me on as your planetary defense commander, you can make a contribution to T. Lewison, 5430 Birdwood Road, number 416, Houston, Texas, 77096. Or I got a PayPal, a Venmo, a Cash App, and a Patron. We got $490 to go with about 55 hours left. And I'd like to thank Kenneth, Athena, Lynn, CJ, Matthew, Brady, Kay, Kenneth E., David, Ruben, Robin, Carol, and CJ again. Thank y'all, and thank you to everyone for all your thoughts, prayers, and help, because these have been crazy days indeed. Now, let's get back to the info. The CMC is pretty consistent with a major type storm hurricane developing in the Gulf of Mexico and then heading into Mexico and possible southwest Texas, at least with all the rain. And then it has the major northeast possible storm headed more west than most places. It is about 10 to 12 days away. See right there, although not west enough to affect into the major New Jersey, New York, New England area, but it does take it into Nova Scotia. This also has Lorenzo going into Ireland at, I believe, 956 millibars. And please remember, these models have been drawing it up 973, coming down from the 953. Have been drawing up Lorenzo at a Category 3, that latitude, for 2 weeks now. So it is within the realm of possibility. Ireland, UK, I would be prepared no matter what. You guys look to be getting wave after wave of storms. Now we got to keep our eye on this tail of the giant Lorenzo stormy storm. It's like wave after wave after wave, man. Totally. Models continue to keep it off of shore, but if this shifts back to the west, which models have been known to windshield wiper, then it could be a potential problem for the Northeast because the heat there is still pretty generous for this time of year. Seasons kind of seem drunk and on drugs and then riding a Segway with one lead foot stuck to the ground, so they're just going in circles. And look at that big U-shape over the Azores High. What is up with that hurricane that forms in the middle of the Azores High and then heads west? That is as strange and as anomalous as it gets, in my opinion. Yo. Now we're looking at everybody's favorite asterisk, the Euro, which nailed Sandy and your mom. Hey, it's Planetary Defense Commander off-season, the 1st to the 4th. I can make tacky jokes like that. And if you don't like me doing the fundraiser every month, you can always leave. Everybody has their own style, bro. Technically, I'm running for president, so it's part of my campaign contributions. Nobody bitches at politicians when they mention that they're running for president, trying to raise money. But I'm giving you incredible, accurate information at the same time. Yeah, I nailed the Dorian Humberto thing, but it was out to sea, so nobody's really impressed. Okay, back on target. Now, one thing that we've been pointing out again and again and again and again and again and again and again, anytime you see the Euro or any of the models within the window range of 10 days drawing up multiple lows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in a giant Egyptian all-seeing eye chain, that means you're going to get some pretty bad, pretty nasty weather that day. And we have our air alignment coming up on the 17th. And so traditionally, around the air alignment, I found the weather is always crazy, especially when you got all the gas giants on the same side. That also increases the hurricane probability, erupting volcano probability, and earthquake probability across the United States, Canada, and Mexico. And so we're looking at a stormy freaking October. The King Euro takes Lorenzo into, look at that, it takes it lower into whatever place that is. Man, I got to work on my geography. That would be about a Cat 1, Cat 2 hurricane, and then it also takes it pretty much straight east, and then your next storm that would whip its tail right into the entire UK, and then you got another major monster coming around the 7th. And this also shows a lot of wind and precipitation coming out of the Gulf of Mexico, and around the 8th, it's crazy that the Euro is the one that brings it the westest for that storm, and it also has a hurricane developing around the Azores High and then heading west, which is crazy. Look at it. I mean, just look at it. And so all that leads up to that one giant period. So there you go. I mean, it's going to be a wild October. Now, I'm not done. Look at all these boom, boom, boom. It's going to be boom, boom, boomy, baby. Although the mini Ice Age salesmen, if they are correct, then hurricane season is shut down and over, pretty much. So yeah, seeing that this is the King Euro on October the 8th, this definitely seems like something to watch, in my opinion. I mean, that would be a binary little low that is coming out to meet the front. If it continues to move west, this could be a major storm for New Jersey, New York, New England, possibly New Hampshire. They almost look like vampire bites, bro. And I don't like vampires that much. I'm not that interested, Yeah, this would probably put the major effects of a major storm near, what is that, Maine, New Hampshire, Nova Scotia, Pennsylvania. I love you guys. Either way, what a 7 years it's been, almost. Now for shits and giggles, we're looking at the bubble, toil and trouble action coming out of the Baja Pacific. That would also have more cyclonic features rolling up the Baja Canal. I don't know if that's what it's called, man. And just look at all the lows that you got rolling around the same time. So yeah, it looks like October is going to be a bit wild. Now you and I together are looking at the GFS Legacy. It goes out 10 days from now, which would make it the 12th. But you can see that major storm around the 8th. I mean, the models agree on that one. They disagree on the low in the Gulf of Mexico. But they all seem to agree on that weird hurricane thing that comes out of the upper central part of the Azores High, which is strange. But yeah, that definitely, the storm on the 7th and 8th for the whole Northeast is going to be one to watch. Let's look at Lorenzo now. So Lorenzo becomes part of the tail. And so every single model agrees on a hurricane hit, pretty much. Every single model agrees on a hurricane hit for Europe. And then you get a second hurricane type thing that goes down towards Spain and France, with the giant major storm then approaching, disconnecting from its tail, and then coming down towards the Europe-UK area. So the hurricane seems in effect, the whiplash tail seems in effect, like you guys are definitely getting hit by 3 or 4 storms, Europe. And then the northeast storm will definitely be one to watch. And what is the Azores High doing? I don't know, man. The whole pressure situation is going to be strange for the month of October. And Grand Solar Minimum can say, see, Grand Solar Minimum is doing it. The Human Caused Climate Change can say, Human Caused Climate Change is doing it. And then I would, it's a little bit of both those, and then the gas giants being on the same side, in my opinion. That's the whole thing. Why everybody should work together. Like if we all combined our positives and ditched our negatives, there is no amount of things we could accomplish as Americans and human beings. But, I don't know. Hate and anger and confusion and blame seem to be the attitude du jour. But look at these storms, man. They are just flipping insane. Now, in this comprehensive report of me making out with the models, we're looking at the JMA. And it shows the storm, the northeast storm, coming out. It's also got a hurricane hit on southern Ireland. It's got that one storm on the 4th coming out of the northeast, pretty hard and heavy. And then it pretty much ends on the 9th, I believe, or the 10th, with that low that comes out. This would probably push it out up into the Nova Scotia area. And then you get another giant storm, 1, 2, 3, our Martian blue pattern, which nobody likes, except for probably Martians. We're probably running our planet right now through frequency. Yeah, and right now it looks pretty weird. We'll be keeping a close eye on Lorenzo. Meteorologists were making fun of me and other people a week ago for saying Lorenzo would hit Europe as a category hurricane, or as a hurricane, and now it looks like it's legit. And also, I predicted when I saw Lorenzo roll off Africa, there was a 100% chance it'd be a category 5. I got that right too. And I want to remind you, in this Earth is a McDLT pattern, and it's also like a lava lamp. The west is cold and cool right now, and then that'll shift. But the southeast, this whole bubble has been extremely warm. New Jersey broke a bunch of records today. So the oceanic heat content, and isn't it weird how it's hotter up here than it is down here? There's a volcano range, or they call them seamounts here. And you rarely hear scientists talk about seamounts. But I found in my research that when the gas giants are on the same side as they are now, we're talking Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus, that's when the New Madrid earthquake happened. That's when the Cascadia earthquake happened. In 1915, that's when a volcano erupted in California. And so we're getting a lot of volcano action. You can see that in Etna, Popocatépetl, Colima. That we're clear on. And, and like I keep saying, I think carbon has caused some effects. Yes, I think a deep solar minimum, definitely affects with solar wind, increasing the amount of volcanoes we see. I think gas giants on the same side is a big deal. And I've been trying to unite all the gangs, but, that hasn't gone well so far. Instead of uniting, now you got people chitter-chattering about preparing for a civil war. And I'm like, hell no, man. That would suck. You know what I'm saying? And for the people who always complain at me during the 1st to the 4th, even though this is the way I've done it every single time, you literally had to come to my channel, click on my video, and it's usually not the first video you watched, just to complain about it, knowing that this is how I do it every month, this is how I've done it for every month. And so, I don't know, man, these crazy days indeed. Crazy days indeed. I was here trying to help people, and I give my information out to everybody for free, and then hope karma pays me back every month. And for over 3 years, it's worked. And so we're talking about some pretty serious wins heading in. I don't know. Maybe I was mad, saying I should have gotten a truce by now and avoided this stupid Civil War impeachment scenario. And for that, I failed, and I apologize. Lord be. Jesus, give me strength. But either way, I've considered you my brothers and sisters of planet Earth, and that I fully believe, like I've been saying, this October is going to be a wild, wacky, stormy season. Combined with hurricanes, volcano eruptions, earthquakes. Now, it's not total doom, but it's best to be prepared for it and to know that with the gas giants on the same side, the next 2 to 3 years are going to be really crazy, and that the pattern won't calm down for 6 more years. Although, I mean, I don't think we know necessarily what the sun is undergoing right now. The sun is a mystery. And I think comet interactions play a big role as well. And that K2 2017 comet, like, that thing is friggin' fascinating. And I mean, that was one NASA spotted like 10 years out. And I think with ISON, they only spotted it like 2-3 years out. So, no matter what, we can see some. October is definitely going to be stormy. Studio, which is pretty much a studio without the T. And T is my actual name. Anywho, if you love and appreciate and support, send me your prayers for sure. And campaign contributions will be appreciated. I'll do my best to protect you and your family and keep everybody aware. I'd like to build some new cities, safe spots in America. I'd like to combine all the sciences. And I'd like to just stay cool and bring back healthy masculinity, comedy, and romance to the United States and Earth. So, you have my address and PayPal link, Venmo, CashApp, Patron. And I'll be here working as your Asterisk Planetary Defense Commander to the 4th. So, God bless everyone. Stay cool. And I know that I have given my all and that I pretty much put out a lot of good information. And I used to be hilarious. So, stay cool. I love you. Appreciate it. It's been fun. Hopefully it'll stay fun. Although it'll be dangerous and there will be pressure. But together, we will make it. Because Asteroid Fight Club survives all the time. God bless everyone.